I have endeavoured in this ghostly little book to raise the ghost of an idea, which shall not put my readers out of humour with themselves, with each other, with the season, or with me. May it haunt their houses pleasantly, and no one wish to lay it. The preface to Charles Dickens' 1843 novel, A Christmas Carol. For 10 years, the Music Mountain Theatre, formerly the Downtown Performing Arts Center, has been presenting the Alan Menken version of A Christmas Carol. Over the years, this annual event has been attended by thousands of theatergoers, included hundreds of cast members and crew, and was a highlight of the area's holiday season. Marley was dead to begin with. There is no doubt whatever about that. The register of his burial was signed by the clergyman, the clerk, the undertaker, and the chief mourner. Scrooge signed it. And Scrooge's name was good upon change for anything he chose to put his hand to. Old Marley was as dead as a doornail. 2020 brought us the terrible COVID pandemic. Because of this, almost all live theater was much like poor Marley, dead as a doornail. So it is with what would have been the 11th year of our A Christmas Carol. This has affected everyone involved with the production terribly, including me. To which I say, bah humbug. Hi, I'm David Whiteman, and for the past 10 years I've portrayed the role of Ebenezer Scrooge in A Christmas Carol, the musical. I'm afraid I will miss it dearly this year, but rather than wallow in self-pity, I'm going to take you on a journey. We will visit with the spirit of A Christmas Carol past and speak to the cast and crew from the last 10 years to get some of their reminiscences and the perspective of the show. Followed by a visit with the spirit of A Christmas Carol present. We'll find out what everyone is doing this holiday season instead of doing A Christmas Carol. And lastly, we'll visit with the spirit of A Christmas Carol future. No, it's not scary at all. We'll talk to Lewis and Jordan and find out what they might have in store for us in 2021. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy A Christmas Carol. Past, present, and future. Now, how did Christmas Carol, the musical tradition, start? Well, the best way to find out might be to speak with our producer of the Music Mountain Theatre, Ginny Brennan. Oh, Ginny, where are you?
David, I'm right here. Hi, I'm Ginny Brennan, producing director here at Music Mountain Theatre, formerly Downtown Performing Arts Center. Well, that's a good story. We all decided, Jordan, Lewis, and myself, that it was a wonderful show to do. We were familiar with it. It had been at Madison Square Garden for years. So that was decided, and then it was my job to find a place to have the show, since Music Mountain Theatre was non-existent 10 years ago. So I approached the high school locally, and I think I probably filled out about 500 papers, forms, signatures, and we were finally approved, and that's when it all started, trying to get it together at the theater. Speaking of memories, I do believe it's time to visit the ghost of Christmas Carol past.
It's your lucky night, brought you something bright, something with a twinkle and a glow, to remember the lights of long ago. Remember the lights of long ago. I am the ghost of Christmas past, aka Jill Jibelisco. It has been my pleasure to play this role for the past 10 years. Now I'm going to visit with some past performers, crew, and audience to hear their favorite memories of A Christmas Carol.
Hello, I'm Louis Polina, co-artistic director of Music Mountain Theater.
And I am Jordan Brennan, co-artistic director of Music Mountain Theater.
It's an interesting process every year because invariably there are new cast members, and I always feel a little bit bad for them because the number of returnees over the past, I would say 5 years, has certainly grown and grown. So though there are new cast members, there are far less of them than there are returnees. And so we move at a pretty quick clip when we're teaching the show. I don't know if you...
It's also a pretty large cast compared to a lot of other productions. So it's a little difficult once we get the full cast rehearsals going to kind of make sure that everyone is staying where they're supposed to stay, and both in the audience and on stage as well. So there's a lot of costumes in the show, basing off of Lewis's average of 70 cast members. Almost everyone in the show has at least 2 costumes, even all the little ones who are carolers and angels. So that's at least 140 costumes. Some of the adults have 5, 6, 7, 8 different costume changes. So I would say there's a couple hundred costumes in every production. Every couple of years we try to upgrade different aspects of the show, especially when it comes to the costumes. So maybe 5 years ago, I want to say, Denise Carr, I sat down with her and we kind of redesigned the Santa dancer costumes for the Ghost of Christmas Present tap number. And we modeled them off of the famous New York City dance troupe that headline every year in a great show in New York City. And they're beautiful costumes made by Denise. That's usually everyone's favorite day, is the costume fitting day, because the cast gets to see what they're wearing, and if they've been in the show multiple times, they get to see, number one, if they still fit in their old costume, which is a fun game, or if they're switching characters, figuring out how many other people have worn that costume. Oh, I was in the green family last year, now I'm in the blue family. That was, so-and-so. So it's always fun to see people's reactions on a costume fitting day.
I am part of the 10-year club, so I've performed every year that they have done it. My first performance of A Christmas Carol was actually at the Bucks County Playhouse. It was the year before we did it, so I had already played the Ghost of Christmas Past the year before, and then was lucky enough to play it for the 10 years after.
First did this show back when I was in the company over at Bucks County Playhouse with Louis, Jordan, and Jill, actually. And we did A Christmas Carol, and I fell in love with it back then.
I first worked on A Christmas Carol back in 2010. I was lucky enough to be a part of the very first production that there ever was, and I was in 2010, 2011, and 2012's production of the show.
In 2018, the opportunity presented itself for me to become a cast member of this magical production, and of course I jumped at the opportunity.
Hi everyone, I'm Colby and I am a member of the cast of A Christmas Carol for the past 3 years.
Hi everybody, my name is Jenny Johnson and I was the original Mrs. Fezziwig in A Christmas Carol with Deepak, Downtown Performing Arts, because we were Deepak back in those days. And that was a tremendous honor and so much fun for me, and I got to play Mrs. Fezziwig for many years.
So my first year with A Christmas Carol was the first year that we started the performances. I've been with the show for 9 of the 10 years, and I only missed 1 year because I had to go to a family function in Florida, and I'm still a little sore about that one.
Hi, my name is Patrick Lavery, and I was actually a newbie last year in the 10th year of the MMT production. But my history with this version of Christmas Carol actually goes back to 1994, the original Madison Square Garden production, for which I auditioned for the role of Tiny Tim. Now, fate took me in a different direction, but I still have the faxed sheet music of God Bless Us Everyone somewhere, and so that song, when we get to it in the show, whenever it pops up, that theme is very special to me.
The first Christmas Carol I did was in 2012, so you do the math. I'm Tyler Brennan, and I was a chimney sweep and the headless ghost in Jacob Marley's number, and that was my favorite number of the show. I love scaring the kids and hearing the screams, and I love the headless ghost. He's definitely my favorite character.
Hi, I'm Suzanne Slade. I was in A Christmas Carol 2010 and 2011. I was the old lady and the ghost of Christmas Future.
Every year I play an angel and a caroler. I've been every single color: green, blue, purple, and red.
Every year I was a simple folk, simple person, a peasant. And the first year I was a Fezziwig child as well, and then I kind of fulfilled my lifelong dreams and was a Santa tapper for a few wonderful years.
My name is Heather Corson, and I first worked on A Christmas Carol in 2017. I was Scrooge's mother, a Fezziwig dancer, and a Green Towns family matriarch.
Yeah, so let's see, Mr. Hawkins, the famous payday scene, money montage, rich family caroler.
I was a couple different roles in the show. So I was one of the Fezziwig children, I was in the ensemble, I was an Abundance and Charity tap dancer, and then the third time that I did the production, I got to play Emily.
My name is Kira Grushow. I've been a part of 6 productions of A Christmas Carol. I've played a caroler, Belinda Cratchit, Gracie Smythe, and a Fezziwig kid. Hi, I'm Griffin. I have been a part of 4 productions of A Christmas Carol. I've played Jack Smythe and most recently got the honor to play Tiny Tim, but I will always be Smythe for life.
And I'm Alex Grushow. Last year was my first year as one of the carolers in the caroling families.
Hi, my name is Rachel Curran, and I was honored to play Mrs. Cratchit 2 times in The Christmas Carol with Deepak, now Music Mountain Theater.
I was the ghost of Christmas Present for the first 5 years of A Christmas Carol.
My name is Zevin Reed. I was in A Christmas Carol last year, 2019, as Ignorance, fan at age 6, and a caroler.
It's the song with Morgan. Is it Coming Home? Is that the name of it?
A Place Called Home.
Yeah, something like that.
Link by link. I think it's really interesting that it brings you into Marley's world for a little bit, and I love the way that the music sounds.
Link by link.
Has to be the finale. God bless us, everyone. Every performance, I get tears in my eyes and I get choked up.
The God Blesses Everyone song. It's the one that Gracie sings at the funeral. I think that's my favorite rendition of the song.
I think my favorite song is God Bless Us Everyone.
My favorite song is in the second act when everyone goes in and takes all the stuff out of Scrooge's bedroom after they think he's dead.
My favorite song is Link by Link.
The whole show. But it's one big song.
Yeah. The whole show definitely flows like one song.
Because I've done it for so many years, the cast knows that I just make up words to the songs. I basically sing lyrics, the same lyrics over and over again for some of the songs. I don't need a fortune hidden in a shoe. I don't need a fortune hidden in a shoe. I don't need a fortune in a shoe.
I have been a part of some amazing productions with MMT, especially A Christmas Carol, which that final song, God Blesses Everyone, always brings my eyes to tears.
Abundance and Charity, because I love watching that tap number. It's always amazing and so magical to watch.
My favorite song is the opening number, where all of us who are really just here in Lambertville get to go to London and have some fun.
I love watching them for their first rehearsal, because that first rehearsal is usually the Fezziwig dance, which is one of the most dangerous yet most fun I've ever had on this stage. If you're not looking out and if you're not ready for it, you gotta be careful because you will get clotheslined.
I like the bun dance. Abundance Charity is what you all call it.
favorite moment in the show is either the Fezziwig big group party dance number or the Abundance and Charity tap dance.
I still remember when I saw that for the first time in 2015, how amazed I was. And I had a grin on my face the whole time, and still every performance I have the same reaction backstage. It's still so much fun to watch that.
My favorite part is when Scrooge goes to knock on the door and you see the ghost of Marley come out of the screen.
And then I think my favorite part had to be like, well, two parts. So the end of Act 1, Abundance and Charity, when all the confetti comes out, and it's just like so beautiful, especially from like, if you're watching it from off stage, it's just amazing, the confetti cannons and stuff. And then also, when the snow is coming down at the end, that's just beautiful, and it's an amazing end to Christmas Carol.
It was my first show, so my favorite moment was just getting to be a part of everything and just seeing all the magic backstage and on stage, and it was a lot of fun.
My favorite part of the show is the Fezziwig's Christmas ball.
Scrooge goes to his nephew Fred's, and Fred says, "Of course, Uncle Scrooge, your family."
My favorite part of the show was just watching the kids on stage. They were so special and so awesome. That moment at the end of the show when the angels sing with Scrooge was definitely by far my favorite part of the whole experience.
My favorite scene of the show is the finale because everyone comes together and sings.
Favorite part is when Scrooge is singing around the gravestones because he learns a lesson.
I'm going to be a little biased when I say this because I was Belinda, but my favorite moment has to be the Christmas Together scene where all the Cratchit family is together and we're just eating that pudding, popping those poppers with those little paper crowns that we always have, and it's just truly a fun time on stage. It always made my night.
My favorite character is probably Marley.
My favorite character in the show would have to be Ignorance and Want. It was always fun to kind of follow them, and anytime, they were presented, you had this like, oh my God, this epiphany there, and then they kind of run off the stage.
I have to say my favorite is Mr. Scrooge because of just the sheer possibility of change, and that someone who is so awful, literally awful, can turn to someone who is thankful, and the level of redemption that happens.
My favorite character has to be Jacob Marley.
Tiny Tim. I think that Tiny Tim brings the entire show together, and when he has that line, "God bless us everyone," at the end of the show, it just makes the entire production for me.
Hard for me to pick a favorite song or a favorite character, but I mean, I'll be biased. I'll say the Cratchit family is pretty amazing.
Scrooge is my favorite character because he embodies the feelings that we all kind of grow into over this month between Thanksgiving and Christmas. We start out with Black Friday and we're so concerned about money, and we are trying to get all of our ducks in a row, all of our affairs in order. But when it comes down to it, it really is about the togetherness of the people that you love.
Be the ghost of Christmas past, because I just am so in love with all the sparkles.
Who's my favorite character? The Ghost of Christmas Present is my favorite character. Not just because I played it either. I really always, in every production of Christmas Carol, I love Ghost of Christmas Present. Just a fun, scene-chewing kind of a situation. I also really do enjoy Marley, and particularly in our production of Christmas Carol, Marley was always a standout.
Scrooge is my favorite character. The transformation that David does on that stage and has done for 10 years is absolutely amazing. You feel every single feeling when he finally realizes what he's missed all these years.
I recently had a time hop pop up on my phone that was from our very first year of producing this version of A Christmas Carol. And all the status said it was Facebook status. It said, very long day, I'm exhausted, rehearsal went well, but I think A Christmas Carol is going to be so much fun. So I think that kind of stays true for every year's production of A Christmas Carol.
I have to admit, the one that sticks out in my mind the most was the year of the ironic blackout, which we had, we used to operate outdoors, and then we did A Christmas Carol in an indoor space. And a lot of times outdoors we would have to cancel performances because of weather or park laws. It was a state park. And then this one particular year, for whatever reason, there was a brownout in the area that the school where we would perform the show is. And so we had to cancel. And it was
devastating.
It was just horrible. I mean, we felt bad. We felt bad for everyone that had worked so hard and was, amped up. I believe it was the opening night, amped up and ready to go. But we did have a great rest of the run, but that is definitely a memory that sticks out, for better or worse.
So this show requires people of varying ages to be in the ensemble. So I was lucky enough to be able to perform in the show one year with my younger sister, Annalisa, and my mom. There's not that many opportunities where you get to say that almost your whole immediate family was in a production with you. So I think that that's a really special memory that we have.
Ever since Kira started with A Christmas Carol, our November and December schedules have revolved around rehearsals and performances, and it's really just become a family tradition.
I guess one funny story that I have is I wear a very old pair of dress shoes in pretty much every MMT show that I do. And they still look pretty nice, but the problem is they have holes in the bottom of them at this point. They're so worn through, there's no traction on the bottom. So in the Christmas Together number, when I was in my sailor outfit, my partner was Katie Prickroll last year, and Katie and I would do this twirl or something where we would come down center stage, and then she was supposed to pull me off stage right. And there was one night, she goes to pull me, and I just feel my legs go out from under me totally. So she breaks off, she goes off stage, and she turns around from the wing, and she sees I'm still on stage. And she's laughing, and I'm laughing because I can't get up. I can't regain my footing. So I'm almost doubled over in laughter, crawling off stage on my hands and knees. Those are the kinds of things that as a performer, you can be very embarrassed about it in the moment, but you look back and you laugh about it, and you're even a little proud about how you handled it.
There's so many amazing memories, but I love the group of us that have done the show for 10 years. Last year, after 10 years, we all went and had dinner, and it was so amazing to be with those people that I've been with since I was so little and have grown up with them my whole life.
I have to say I can't help but think back on my character as a mom in the show and really all of the wonderful family moments that we spent together. And I really do reflect that and experience that every year with my family. And I can't help but think about my experience on stage.
The memories that strike me are working with such a wonderful group of children. Mr. Smythe, of course, always has Gracie, and sometimes he has a Jack. And I've had such wonderful Gracies and Jacks throughout the years. Juliana, Kira, Gianna, Finn, Gavin.
Smite for life!
And all the kids. I'm sure I'm missing someone. I feel terrible that I'm missing them just off the top of my head.
Probably the Santa Tapper number, just the Ghost of Christmas Present. It's just because it just has so much, meaning. I guess the other part is it's also one of my favorite memories from the show is when I recreated all the costumes for that number. And that particular year, both of my girls got to tap with me, so all three of us were doing it. So it's probably my most favorite memory of the show.
My favorite memory from A Christmas Carol was this past year having to teach my mom the Santa Tap number because it's a bit difficult for her, but it was awesome to do and we got to do it so many times. I think my favorite memory had to be the very first year I did it, when Roger Madden came up to me and said, "Hey, you start off the show, don't start late."
My favorite part of doing Christmas Carol is having multiple children. Every year I would be a caroler, I would get a new family, and I would never know which children I would get. And some of the children that I had from the beginning of time in Christmas Carol have all grown up to be either members of MMT now or just still around, and it's neat to see that. And usually they end up getting taller than me.
Last year, I was looking up at the snow during the last scene, and a piece of it got in my mouth and got stuck on top of my palate expander.
That we get to go get quick check.
In the course of my 7 years of being in it, of course, we've had a lot of fun. We're basically like a family. But I think my favorite memories were from last year for Justin being able to be in it.
And my favorite memory that sticks out is that ad-libbed line that Tim did during Abundance and Charity that just brought the house down every night. We're gonna need more mistletoe.
I just wanted to quickly share with you one of my favorite moments of the show. In Marley's song with the scary ghosts in the graveyard, there are a number of dancing, cavorting ghosts that come out. And my favorite moment of the show is when Lucy Fisher's ghost comes out and lets out an unbelievable banshee-like shriek. And it just makes me giggle and thrills me and fills me with Christmassy joy.
My favorite moment or memory of the show is definitely still Fezziwig, because I'm sure the audience doesn't realize that I'm doing this, but I tend to spread rumors throughout the Fezziwig ball. Like one year I told everybody that Emily was a witch and that she needed to be burned at the stake. I spread rumors about people cheating on people. I spent the whole slowdown section puking in the background. So it's definitely my favorite part. And I also got to dance with Gary a couple of years, and that's always fun.
I think the whole thing was a really fun memory.
That's really sweet. I agree. I think, over the years, I've just had nothing but good experiences. But one of my favorite memories is being able to participate in the teenage Secret Santa the past 3 years. Getting to sit around and open presents with each other just really made us feel like a family.
One memory that sticks out is performing the Fezziwig's Ball for the first time as a red-headed Fezziwig kid.
Definitely the friends that I've made. So I started performing at Music Mountain Theater DPAC 5 years ago, and I didn't know anyone. So as soon as I did Christmas Carol, which was pretty soon when I first started performing, it's kind of like most of the people that you're going to see at Music Mountain are in Christmas Carol, and I just kind of befriended everyone, and everyone was so kind, and that's my favorite memory because it made me kind of feel at home in the theater, and that's been the feeling I've had ever since.
And just, afterwards, when you come out, when we're all done each show, just how excited the audience is and just how happy they are that, that they came and that they did, that we did the show. So that's always a neat experience, like just coming out, after the show.
Roger Madding, Fishmonger, and Ensemble. One of my fondest memories of the show was the way that everyone would play Secret Santa. There was a lot of fun and genuine love and affection and deception as well, so it became a bit of a annual treat for me to get to experience with all the friends that were in the show with us.
A memorable moment. A couple of years ago, one of the kids in the show had the flu, and he was feeling very poorly. So at intermission, he got in Scrooge's bed to take a nap backstage. And unfortunately, part of his flu was a stomach flu in Scrooge's bed. And so this was an intermission, and I sort of freaked out because one of the early scenes in Act 2 is I'm in Scrooge's bed going through all of his laundry and stuff and holding it up. I had visions of Hurl being spewed out into the audience.
My favorite memory in the show is the ending because everyone's on stage together and we all sing a song.
Favorite moment in the show? I think it's during the money montage scene where I walk on stage with Jennifer. Here's half that I did borrow, and I hand Alex a note, and I always hand him a different note every scene, every show. And I'm trying to break character, but he's a good sport. He doesn't break character. and he comes backstage and thanks me for the wonderful notes that I leave him. So we have fun doing that.
One of my favorite memories from the show is probably the Fezziwig number as a whole. I've gotten to be in that the past 3 years, and it's, in my opinion, just one of the most fun parts of the show. In addition to the energy, the dancing, I have a lot of funny memories of ad-libbing in the background of the scene, including pretending to fight with people and pretending to throw up on people. That's always been a really fun part of the show for me.
The first rehearsal every year is always fun. But 2015 was really cool because I'm also a huge Star Wars fan. And so The Force Awakens was coming out. And we had dress rehearsal that night. And a whole slew of us, including you, went to that opening night show at midnight after Christmas Carol rehearsal. So that was a really fun year because, like, literally it was half the cast. We all went to Warrington and we watched the Star Wars movie too. And Tristan and I were like dueling lightsabers backstage, and it was, so that's a special memory.
I think my favorite memory from A Christmas Carol is actually the very first rehearsal of each year when we've all come together again to sing all of the music to the show. It really kind of gives you this magical and special feeling during this time of year to come together and sing it all again for the first time. And I think no matter how many amazing productions I'm a part of at Music Mountain, whether that's on stage, backstage, or even seeing it in the audience, nothing has really ever given me the feeling that I get the very first rehearsal of A Christmas Carol each year.
And it would be when the little girl, who's like really just like a random character, like her mom, I think, passes away. I did it 5 times. I'm still not entirely clear. But she sings God Bless Us Everyone. And I'll never forget, it was the first time or second time we did it. And I'm on stage during that part. And I just kind of like stopped and paid attention. And like, I got really emotional. I might have cried. Not sure.
Everyone that comes out of this theater is glowing. Some are weeping with joy. But every comment I get always is, this is an amazing show. It brings Christmas out for us. We're in the holiday mood now. So I'm always happy to stand at that piano and hear those things, of course. But again, it brings back the whole idea of community and bringing the holiday to people.
A memory that sticks out, this was my, I guess, second year doing the show years ago, and Jason was young, and Lewis and Jordan told us that we did not have rehearsal on that Saturday, and Jason got up and thanked them. He was so excited because he had a play date that he forgot to tell them about, so it worked out in his favor.
Being on stage with my cousin.
Favorite memory? You know, it's always fun when we always do the gift exchange and just the time, I guess the time behind the scenes is just a great memory. You know, when we're rehearsing and then we do the special gift exchange the last night of the show. That's always fun to do the Secret Santa and to see, you know, who we've been buying for the whole time. So that's always just a silly, fun time.
My favorite moment in the show, coming from one of the Cratchits, is probably the Christmas feast that we got to eat on stage. There was always a dessert to eat, and it always tasted amazing.
I remember when I was a kid, it was something that my family would see. We would go to the Carter Theater, and we'd see the production there when I was very young. And so, you know, it's something that's near and dear to my heart, and just resounding memories all around of what it means to be, you know, a family and what Christmas means to me. So I'm for sure going to miss it this year. There's a little hole in my heart for Christmas Carol.
Curtain goes up and the lamp post is lit and the entire stage lights up and comes alive. That's my favorite moment. I'm a sucker for town scenes. I find it so interesting to be in the audience and look and see how everyone is interacting with each other and creating an alive town.
Overall, I like Christmas Carol because I knew people outside of the show, but it really helped us get closer as a group, and I'm really grateful for that.
My favorite memory is all of the mistakes we've made throughout the past and how much it's just become like a fun joke to all of us.
My favorite memories include every year we do a Secret Santa. The whole cast does a Secret Santa, and oh my goodness, I'd say I like that it brings us all closer together as a cast, and the people that are returning love that and know that about the show, and you learn more and more about each other, but also the new people that come in is one of my favorite things to watch.
There was this one during the tapping number, I would always smile like without teeth, so it would just look like I'm not smiling. So Jordan printed up a picture that says Cheyenne smile, and it was like a picture of him going like this, and he pasted it on the wall so that when I was like tapping and looked at it, like it just made me like laugh. It was so funny.
Mine was probably every time that Tyler and I would be together dancing, and I would be like, Tyler, let's go, we gotta go on stage, and I'd have to like make sure he would go on stage at the right time.
That was with me and McAfee. He was always like, let's go, Cheyenne. I was like, oh god.
My favorite memory is just being there with everybody.
Those are fun. Anytime Lewis just whips Tiny Tim up onto his shoulders like it's nothing,
Which could be also terrifying.
is amazing. That man is deceptively strong.
I guess doing it at the high school or middle school, being in that cold dressing room area every year, that's a memory that sticks out. Trying to hide my gravedigger costume because it's such a quick change and everybody's looking for their gravedigger costume, and sometimes it just goes missing.
I'd say one memory that really sticks out would be that first rehearsal of my second year doing the show, where I just knew what I was doing. Because that first year is always so strange because everyone else knows what they're doing, and you feel very like, oh no, what did I just get into? But then that second year, I'm like, I know what I'm doing. And that was a good feeling.
I would say the first year we did it, I didn't have to dance the Christmas Carol tap. And that's a good memory. I was given a free pass the first year because they said that the quick change would be too much from Christmas past into the Santa Tapper. And then the second year that didn't fly anymore. So then I was, had to make the change and then dance it for the other 9 years. So that would probably be my favorite Christmas memory, is actually getting into the tap number, because I do love it, even though that change is horrendous. And thank you to anybody who has helped me.
So I don't have a number off the top of my head, but I can walk you through the math. So on average, there, I would say, are 70 cast members over the 10 years. 60 on the low end, 85 was our highest. We learned from that mistake and never did that again. So I would average that out to roughly 70. Obviously, the first year, everyone was brand new, so that's 70 right off the bat. But then every year since then, I would estimate that there's about 20 new. If you're going with the number of 70, 50 old. So, you add that up over 10 years. You guys can do the math. That was never one of my strong suits. But it's a lot. It's definitely a lot of people that have come through the show. And again, because we have a lot of returnees, a lot of people stay with it for quite some time. We do have our 10-year club. I believe there are 10 actors in the 10-year club. And those are people who have been with it every year since we started. But even outside of the 10-year club, there's also quite a few people in the 9-year club and the 8-year club and so on and so forth. So it's quite a few people. I would guess upwards of 800 over the 10 years, definitely, which is insane to think about, but it's probably pretty close to accurate.
Whoa, oh, oh. La da da da, oh, oh, oh. La da da da, oh, oh, oh. La da da da, making our Christmas memories. much lately. I can barely find the time to sleep. Yeah, I spend my time running around, keeping people pleased. But this is my favorite holiday. It's a chance to start over new. 'Cause I missed you, so I'm letting go of everything but you. These are the good times with you. Baby, this year it's just gonna be you and me. Hang by the fire and chill. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, and I've been longing to hold you close. Forget about everyone else. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, oh, la da da da, oh, oh, la da da da, oh, oh, la da da da. Making our Christmas memories. I've been wrapping presents for you. I've been hanging marbles in the tree. And I've lit my house with Christmas lights. So you should come back home to me. And when we wake up in the morning, I'm gonna play those carols that you love. We'll be singing all the melodies until the sun comes up. These are the good times with you. Baby, this year it's just gonna be you and me. Hang by the fire and chill. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, and I've been longing to hold you close. Forget about everyone else. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, oh, la da da da, oh, 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 la da da da. Making our Christmas memories. Yes, these are the good times with you. Don't even care what we do if I spend it with you. Just you and nobody else. It's so good to see you again. To see you again. Baby, this year it's just gonna be you and me. Hang by the fire, chill. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, and I've been longing to hold you close. Forget about everyone else. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories.
I hope you take our memories of the Christmas Carol past as our Christmas Carol present to you. And speaking of the Christmas Carol present,
Boo! Abundance, charity, goodwill toward men. Hey everyone, I'm David McClellan Jr. and I have played the Ghost of Christmas Present for the past 2 years. Now that we've checked in with Christmas past, we're going to check in with some of our families to see what they're doing to celebrate this year, 2020.
It will be hard to, it's kind of like a charger for our batteries, you know? It really does get us going, and it's not quite Christmas without it. I'm hoping when people start getting their lights up and we start hearing Christmas music that it'll put me in the mood, but I don't know. It's definitely gonna be a challenge this year.
I guess, you know, gonna have to watch Charlie Brown Christmas a lot.
I am currently at school, so I am in my apartment, and we decorated a lot. So lots of decorating, lots of Christmas music, lots of family stuff, lots of that. Maybe like a Zoom party of A Christmas Carol, like watching some past MMT DPAC productions. That would be kind of fun.
The way we're going to get into the holiday spirit is we're going to go out at the last minute right now because it's after Black Friday. go and run around looking for some sort of crazy inflatable for the lawn to make me happy, and in this case we got lucky enough to get an 11-foot reindeer.
Yeah, well, the good news is I have a couple of DVDs from years past when we did Christmas Carol, so I get to watch those. But first time in a long time, I get to watch football on the weekends between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And it's more of a relaxed atmosphere at home, not running around going to rehearse or doing the shows. So I'll have fun thinking about Christmas Carol, but at the same time, I'm home on the weekends and enjoying my family and the holidays.
I'm really going to miss doing the show this year. It's more than just a show. It's a reminder of what the season is supposed to be about, sharing joy.
I'll be honest, I'm having a bit of holiday malaise at the moment. It's just so strange, and for those of us that have done Rocky Horror, which is another show that we produce relatively regularly, it's kind of like a benchmark of the year. You get to Halloween, and it's Rocky Horror time, and then you get to Christmas, and it's Christmas Carol time. So it's strange. I do feel like something's missing this year, definitely. But we still have some fun things going on at the theater that both Jordan and I will be involved in, which will be holiday themed. And, you know, I decorate our house like a madman, so it's hard to not feel a little Christmassy.
It's a little Christmassy here as well.
See, I've already decorated my apartment. And we are doing a lot of virtual watching from home, so the best part about that is that I do get to kind of experience that at home with my cuddly little pup.
Watch, holiday movies and Christmas movies and get into the spirit that way, and also decorating early this year so that we're able to celebrate the holiday season a little bit longer is something that I'm absolutely going to be doing.
I'm listening to Christmas music.
You are listening to Christmas music, a lot of Christmas music, and we all get to hear it. We have a nutcracker tradition here in the Frankenbach household. We have a lot of nutcrackers we've been decorating with.
So my husband and I are actually in the process of buying a house that is taking forever to close. So we are hopefully going to be in by Christmas. So I'm going to spend my Christmas decorating my house.
I'm not sure what we're going to substitute it with. I guess maybe hopefully watching this.
Hi, I'm Allie McMillan, and I played the Ghost of Christmas Future from the year 2017 until their most recent production in 2019. We've already heard from the Ghost of Christmas Past and the Christmas Present, and now it's time to look to the future. As Mr. Scrooge says, I can see a future full of beauty and my spirits start to fly. We spoke to Lewis and Jordan to hear from them what a future full of beauty looks like for Christmas Carol at MMT.
There are a few things that we've talked about, kind of not changing necessarily, but just upgrading. Most of them are visual things. When you run a production for 10 years and you're using the same sets and the same costumes, that's great because it makes it, I don't want to say easier, but it definitely makes the transition from the show prior to that one a little more smooth. But things get wear and tear, so it's definitely due for an upgrade. There are some new drops that we'd like to purchase and get in there, and there's also, we've talked about...
It's always been a dream to fly people in this show. Fly Scrooge, fly a ghost, fly all ghosts. But that comes with a pretty big budget that we, at this point, do not have. But perhaps one day, I'm not saying next year, but maybe 1 year our production will include some aerial work.
So to everyone who will not be with us in Christmas Carol this year, I thank you, and I hope you have an amazing holiday. And again, we're going to be here in 2021, so come back.
I miss you all so much, and I can't wait to perform again together someday, hopefully in the near future.
Well, everybody in the cast, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I miss everybody. I wish we were here together doing the shows.
I'm hoping that we'll be able to come back and do it again next year.
Thank you so much for supporting Music Mountain Theater and for supporting A Christmas Carol every year. I'm so honored to be a part of it every year. It's one of my favorite Christmas traditions and my favorite Music Mountain memory. Thank you you so much, and here's hoping this Christmas your wishes come true.
We miss you all, we love you all, and we hope to see you next year.
I hope everyone has a safe, happy, and healthy holiday season.
I'd like to thank Ginny, Jordan, and Lewis, as well as the cast and crew of every production of this show for making such a wonderful part of the holiday season.
I love everyone that was a part of it, and I wish them all a happy Christmas.
And I hope that wherever you are this holiday season, that there is joy, love, and laughter.
So, wishing everyone a really good Yule from my new home here in Salem, Massachusetts, the Witch City. Hope you all have a very magical holiday.
To all my Christmas Carol castmates, I miss you. I wish you a very wonderful holiday season, and I look forward to doing the show with you again next year. Love you.
You're my family, and it's Christmas, and it's my favorite time of year, and I miss you, but 2021, baby, the ghost is back.
You know, I mean, what you guys have put together is more than just a script and more than just a bunch of lights and some very nice costumes and a wonderful setting. I mean, it's true chemistry that definitely adds marks to bringing things together. I mean, you guys really, you made some magic.
For the cast and crew, I'd like to say thank you for an amazing experience with Christmas Carol, and I can't wait to see you next year.
I look forward to the day that we can do the show again safely and I can be with my family.
I guess thanks for joining us for 10 years, and hopefully next year we can be back and you'll join us again.
Again, happy holidays to everyone. Miss you all. Stay safe, and hopefully we will be back on stage together soon.
I'd like to hope and I like to think that this is just going to be a blip in the map. 2020 is just going to go down as a crazy year in all of our lives, and A Christmas Carol will be back on stage in 2021, being just as magical as the very first production.
Thank you. I hope you have a wonderful Merry Christmas.
I hope everybody has a happy and safe holiday.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I think that's good. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, everyone.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
We're really going to miss Christmas Carol this year, and to Ginny, Lewis, Jordan, the cast and crew of A Christmas Carol, we just want to say Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year.
And God bless us, everyone!
Merry Christmas, and God bless us, everyone.
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 Thank you for coming out and supporting local arts and A Christmas Carol, and this production is very near and dear to my heart, and I hope it continues once we get through this, and I miss everybody. Bye.
Well, there you have it. With the world of 2020 seemingly topsy-turvy, I think it might be best to remember the words of Ebenezer Scrooge. I shall live in the past, present, and the future. The spirit of all three shall thrive within me. Oh, Jacob Marley, heaven and Christmas time be praised. Let's all remember our past fondly and celebrate the present with our families and our friends. And remember that our actions can cause ripples into the future. I hope everyone has a very happy holiday. And God bless us all, everyone.
Let the stars in the sky remind us that compassion. Let us love to be done, and God bless us everyone. In your heart is a light as bright as the star in heaven. Let it shine through the night, and God bless us everyone. Till each child is fed, till all men are free, till the world becomes a family. Star by star up above, and kindness like human kindness. Light this world with your love, and God bless us there.
something at the burner and we go,
And God bless everyone. Whoa, oh, oh, la da da da, oh, oh, la da da da, oh, oh, la da da da, making our Christmas memories. I've been working so much lately, I can barely find the time to sleep. Yeah, I spend my time running around, keeping people pleased. But this is my favorite holiday. It's a chance to start over new. 'Cause I missed you, so I'm letting go of everything but you. These are the good times with you. Baby, this year it's just gonna be you and me. Hang by the fire and chill. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, and I've been longing to hold you close. Forget about everyone else. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, oh. La da da da, oh, oh, oh. La da da da, oh, oh, la da da da, making our Christmas memories. I've been wrapping presents for you.